Hi, my name's Naomi Joy Gallagher. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a relaxing lower body stretch for you. I'm going to be using one of these long bands. If you don't have a resistant band, you could always modify with a towel or some sort of long fabric. So we'll place that to the side. Let's get going. We're going to start in a wide child's pose on your knees. And if your knees are sensitive, it's nice to have pillows or a blanket to cushion them. So we'll set our knees wide and we're going to push the hips back. We're on the tops of our feet and start to walk your fingertips forward, stretching through the sides of your waist. Let's take a deep breath into the nose and a deep exhale out through the mouth, letting go of tension. Let's do that again. We breathe in, we expand the back, belly, sides, and then exhale, let go of tension. Great, so now we're going to come on up and we're going to draw some big circles with the hips. So warming up the hips and the spine. As you come up, you're going to round your back, tuck the tailbone, and you're going to sink into the hips. You can walk your hands forward. So you're going forward and then back. Okay, let's reverse directions now. So you may feel this stretch through the side of your hip. I do, depending how your body's feeling today, what kind of workouts you've been doing or haven't been doing. All right, let's do a couple more. Good, and now we're going to come back to center and we're going to step forward into a lunge position. And I want to grab this band and we're actually going to take the band. Some of you may or may not need this, but let's just place it down across the mat. It's going to help us for an assisted quad stretch. So now we'll step the right leg forward in this lunge. Your knee is stacked over your hip, and then join me in this upright position. Now let's focus on squaring the pelvis. So right hip back, left hip forward, and you're going to actively tuck your tailbone under. So you want to engage your belly and that back glute to help isolate the stretch in the front of the left hip. Now slowly we're going to melt down and we're going to think about keeping that core connection. So you're going to lose the stretch if you start to arch your lower back like that. When we're stretching, it's really important to be aware of your breath. As you deepen your breath, your nervous system is going to relax, and that's going to communicate to the body to let go. Relax your shoulders, soften your face, and feel free to exhale through your mouth at any time. So now we're going to enter into a quad stretch. And so some of you, it's going to be your left hand that reaches back. Some of you might be able to just reach back and hold your foot or your ankle. Make sure you're flexing that foot to stabilize the knee. And others, that might be challenging, right? So that's where we use the band. So you're going to grab both ends of your band and you have it around your leg, your ankle. And then I'm going to hold the band with my left hand. And then slowly, you're going to lift your leg up using the band. And you can just adjust your hand to a grip that feels good for you. Now let's start to square the hips. Pull the belly button in. So you're welcome to stay right here. I'm going to reach for my foot. And think about that right hip pulling back and the left hip forward. So just another note is that notice that my weight is forward of my knee. I'm not right on top of it. You want to make sure that your leg is far enough back so that when you come forward, you're not resting on the knee joint. So we'll take here about 3 more breaths. And then on your next exhale, we'll let go of the foot. Plant the hands now down and step back into a child's pose. Walk your fingertips forward. And now we're going to switch sides. So left leg steps front, hips are square. We pause here. We're on the top of our foot. Belly button pulls in. Tuck your tailbone under and slowly come forward. So when we're lunging, there's always traction in the feet. What I mean by that is your front foot presses down and pulls back, and then that back leg and foot are squaring forward. And this is going to help you keep your pelvis in alignment square. All right, let's reach back now, either for your foot or your ankle, or we're going to grab both ends of the band. And then you're going to bring the band into your right hand and then start to pull your leg in. So adjust your hand so it feels comfortable. And although we're bringing the heel in, you actually want to kick back. So you're kicking into your hand, kicking away from the sit bone as the hand pulls in. Think about flexing through your foot, lift your chest up, relax your shoulders. Take about 3 more breaths here. I'm just going to grab my foot now. Great, 1 more breath. And release. Wonderful. Again, child's pose, stepping your hips now back. Excellent. And then from here, let's lay on our back and we're going to grab the band. We're just going to place it to the right side. We'll start with our feet, mat's width, quite wide. And you're going to open your arms up, palms face up. Start to tuck your tailbone under by engaging your lower core muscles. And we're going to do a little windshield wipe side to side. So the legs are wide, and you're just going to go side to side at your own pace. So we're internally and externally rotating the hips. The leg that's internally rotating, that means that the knee would be drawing in. I want you to think about lifting your hips up a little bit higher on that side and tucking your tailbone under so you feel a stretch right in the front of your hip. And I'm flexing my feet. All right, let's go again. A couple more times here, side to side. And I'm pressing my opposite shoulder down too as I lift that hip. And we'll switch. And now join me back in center, and let's now grab our band. Let's stretch our hamstrings. So our knees are bent, our feet are flat on the floor. We're going to take our strap long, and we're going to start to reach the right leg up, flexing the foot. Now you're going to place your band on the ball of the foot, and you're going to hold onto the band with both hands. Now to stretch the hamstrings, we want to straighten the leg. So for a lot of people, you might feel your stretch right here. All right, so that's the beauty of having this band. You want to think about engaging through your quadricep, your front thigh muscles. That's going to lengthen your hamstrings in the back. And let's also think about stretching our calves. So we're dorsiflexing our foot. So you're pushing out through your heel and then curling those toes in. So there's this nice deep stretch from the sit bone all the way up to the ankle. Now relax your shoulders, and if you're more flexible, you're going to be up here. Let's just be mindful that we're not tilting the right hip up to compensate. We want to make sure that our hips are level. Now, if you're more flexible, you can start to extend the bottom leg here as well. And you imagine that you are standing on that leg, so you're pushing out through the 4 corners of the foot. Now, another key point that I see in people is that they'll bring their leg up, but then all of a sudden they tuck their tailbone under and you're losing the hamstring stretch. So make sure that your tailbone is on the ground and back it up if you have to, okay? Breathe. We're going to switch hands. So we're going to stretch the TFL here, the fascia up through the side of the hip, and we're going to bring the strap into the left hand. So some of us, as I said, are going to be here. You're going to straighten your leg and engage your quad, your core. You can have your knee bent if you need to, and you're going to start to explore bringing your leg across. So if your hamstrings are really tight, you might just feel the sensation in the hamstrings. But eventually, as you start to loosen up, we're dropping this hip down and keeping it on the ground. You might start to feel a stretch in through here and through the side of the hip. Now I'm flexing my foot, and as my hand pulls down, I'm pushing the outer blade of my foot into the band. So I pull down with the hand, but I'm kicking back into the right. You notice what that feels like? It changes the sensation quite a bit. All right, nice. So let's bend the knee. We'll release that, and then take your leg down for a moment and notice how it feels. Good, and then let's bend both knees again. Left leg extends up. Place the band around the ball of the foot. You've got both hands on your band. Relax your shoulders. Think about engaging through your quad muscles. Check that your hips are in alignment, that you're not hiking your left hip up. It's even with the right. And then maybe extend the right leg as well. Push out through the four corners of the foot, and let's spread those left toes wide. So another reminder, this is what I see people do in class, is that they're like, oh, I'm stretching my legs, but then they end up tensing their shoulders. So relax your shoulders and focus on walking your hands up. Keep your arms pretty long and relaxed. Now we'll switch hands. So we've got the strap in the right hand, and the left hand, let's just bring it to the hip, and let's drop that hip down. So I'm just going to show you what a lot of people will look like here. You're going to start to go across the body. Keep your low back on the floor here and your hip down. And then as you're tugging down with the right hand, you're kicking your leg gently over to the left. So we've got a very active flex, and I'm pressing out with the outer knife edge of the left foot. Relax your shoulders. And think about gathering this right elbow in slightly. Good. Okay, come back to center. Bend the knee, release your band. You can just place the band to the side, and let's let those legs now drop. Ooh, notice how you feel. Take a belly breath and release out through the mouth. Great, let's bend the knees again. And now we're gonna lift into happy baby pose. So we're neutral spine. We're gonna lift the knees up, and we're gonna take the knees out. So in this pose, we're going to bring the feet up to the sky, and our focus is to maintain neutral spine. So you want to be careful that you're not compensating, like I was saying before, and lifting the tailbone up. Belly button is in, tailbone is down. So we start here with the hands on the inner calves. You may need to just stay here. This is a good stretch for the inner thighs. Some may feel it in the hamstrings as well. If you are more flexible, start to explore walking your hands up, maybe holding your big toes or your outer feet. Now I want you to keep in mind that if you have longer arms, it's going to be easier for you to hold on to your toes or your outer feet. So just keep that in mind, that everybody's proportions are different. So exercises and stretches look different on everybody. Let's try and press those knees out. Push up through your heels and bring those toes into the face. Breathe into your back. Relax your jaw and maybe rock a little side to side. Great. So now I'm going to hold on to the right side, and my left leg is going to lower down. I'm going to keep my knee bent. So my left knee is now counterbalancing over to the left, and I'm going to start to focus on this right inner thigh. So I'm going to start to gather that knee down, and I've got my left hand on the front of the left hip, and I'm pushing down through the left hip, so being mindful to not collapse over to the right, but to stay stable. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper, you could start to straighten this leg out. So we can hold on to the calf like this. You could be using your band again. And then you're drawing your foot up towards your right ear and out towards the ground. And then as we do this, we're rooting down the opposite hip and leg, so the pelvis is shining up towards the ceiling. Breathe. We'll bend the knees, we'll come back to center, and let's place this foot down, knee points out to side, left knee hugs in, and then holding on to your calf, your ankle, maybe your big toe. Bring your right hand to the top of the right hip, or the front of the pelvis, and just press down. Maybe extend your left leg to straight. Breathe into your back. Slowly we bend the knee. We'll bring the hands to the hand to the outside of the knee. We gather in. Fantastic. So both knees hug in. Now I want you to give yourself a sweet little hug here. You're going to wrap your arms around your calves, your shins. Give yourself a squeeze. And then place the hands to the back of the knees. And we're going to finish with a seated forward fold. So reach our legs forward. Sit up tall, flex your feet, and we're going to bow down. Think about hinging from the hips, send your heart forward and up. And I almost forgot, we are going to do a glute stretch. So let's finish with that, all right? We're almost done. So we'll bend the knees and, we'll bend the right knee. We'll rotate externally, and we're going to place the right ankle over the left knee like this. Now you're going to lift your chest up and either folding down from here, if that feels like a good stretch for your right glute. You could bring your hands back like this, lift your chest, or if you want to go into a deeper stretch, you're going to bend the bottom knee as well, flex your foot, and it's like a double pigeon from yoga. Actively flex your feet. I'm just going to go this way so you can see me. And then as we lean forward, heart is open, spine is straight. Breathe into your back. Let go of tension. Good. We'll come back to center. We'll release that. So you've got both feet on the ground, and you're going to reach your legs out forward again, and we'll bend the left knee. We'll rotate externally. So again, your options, you can lean forward from here. You could bend bend the bottom knee as well with your hands behind, chest up. And this could also be done laying on the back too. I'm going to take the double pigeon option, so bending the bottom knee, flex the foot, and then sit your hips back and bow down. Let's take some sighs out from the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting go of tension, getting a little heavier. And then we'll slowly walk our hands back to our legs and we'll release. Awesome. And then let's bring our feet forward, hands back, and we're going to finish with, again, another windshield wipe that we did earlier on our back. And notice how your hips feel. As I do this, I'm twisting my belly the opposite way, lifting the chest up. And one more time. Fabulous. We are all done. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you soon.